Patterson. We are at the 13th annual St. Louis Prototype Modelers Meet. I'm doing an outdoor photo shoot. We're going to talk about this table saw. That's absolutely magnificent. This is the best hobby in the world.
What's neat?
What's neat?
What's neat?
What's neat starts now.
Catch the What's Neat podcast every week and full episodes of What's Neat every month at the Model Railroad Hobbyist YouTube page. Rock and roll.
I know, right? God, what a beautiful week it's been.
I know.
It's just fantastic. Oh, Garden Railroad tonight. We get to talk about that. Hey, Richard, you're running camera.
Hi, Richard.
Oh, look, we have people on Skype too. Oh, this is going to be
excellent.
fun tonight. All right, show number 275, guys. And Richard, give us a countdown. Now, let's have some fun tonight.
Ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you.
These are anyway.
Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975. Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com. And by Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Additional support is provided by Yelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at yelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast. This is the What's Neat This Week show in model railroading, show number 275 for May 18th, 2024. I'm your host, Ken Patterson, the host of that What's Neat show that we produce every month for Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine. And guess what, Joshua? The June video got out last night at 1:30 in the morning.
That's
right?
awesome.
Deadlines, you know. So rock and roll. And in that video, we featured George Bogatuk from Soundtracks. And he does part 2 on how he built all of his roads on his layout and some of his scenery.
I love videos from him.
We've got an exciting show tonight. And I just want to start over here and say I've got Mike Buddy sitting right here.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Mike, how you doing this week?
Good. Quite well.
Good to have you. Out in Skype land tonight, we have David Popp on this side from Model Railroader Magazine. Hey, Dave.
Hello, Ken. Nice to see you again.
It's awesome to have you on the show always. And we also have Craig Fuller from Firecrown Media on this side of the screen. And as we're going to get into, this is Model Railroader's new father. This is the new, yes. This is our, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
On this side of me, I got Joshua Barton.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, Joshua. And on the end over here, we've got Stephen Mantilla.
Hello.
Hey, Steve.
I'm glad to be here.
It's awesome to have you here as well. All right, so the Garden Railroad update. Everybody laughed at me when I'm about to show you the video clips that I was shooting. They're like, what are you doing? You don't sit down out there on the Garden Railroad before you start construction out there and start working at night and start working during the day, and you're sitting out there for hour after hour, methodically going foot by foot and repairing, right?
Yep.
You've got to spray insecticide killer, bug killer. You've got to spray the Garden Railroad area, all of it, or you're going to have those little chiggers. They get in your belt, you know, they get in those inconvenient spots, and the next day in the shower, I've got chiggers. Avoid that problem. I've already been through it, so I'm saving you the trouble. So that's what tonight's little video footage was all about. So without further ado, I want to go out to Craig and to David. Craig, you are a publisher, and you have expertise in the trucking business. And in fact, I've seen you on TV. I'm a junkie for CNBC, and I've seen you on that channel. So you sound like this is going to be an exciting show in that we get to meet you, the new owner of Model Railroader magazine. And in fact, tell us, you bought a whole portfolio, didn't you?
Yeah, we bought and acquired Kalmbach's titles. So that includes Model Railroader trains, the legacy Garden railroads, and also classic toy trains. So we're excited to have it, be the new owner and the new steward. And one thing we like to say is when we buy these magazines, we're actually holding on to them for the next generation, sort of taking from a Patek Philippe ad, that it's not about buying it and making short-term decisions. It's about building onto the community and giving back to the community that expects so much of these magazines.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Because
Yes.
I know someone's going to bring it up, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. That Model Railroader magazine has been with me my entire life from when I was 7 years old. You know, and that's how everyone at the table, I'm sure, is. You
Yeah,
know?
wait a minute. I thought it was mine. It's mine. It's mine.
But you know, waiting in anticipation for that copy to come. You know, you were like my little train friend, and you know,
They were the
family.
internet before we had the internet.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
This is a tablet right here.
That's a little before my time. just to
Now
let
you
everybody
go back to
know.
Moses, and the tablets are in stone. This is a lot lighter, so
Yes,
they came up with a better tablet. But I mean, jokes aside, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, magazines are, they're archives of history. They're moments of history, but they're also moments of inspiration. And particularly for model railroaders, it gives people ideas. This is in many ways a design book as well as a how-to, but also really an engagement opportunity for the community.
Very nice.
Great.
Very cool.
I know, right? Did we cover the part that kind of covers the part where you're buying us? I mentioned on our pre-phone call that this is an intimate transaction, and that it comes with a constituency. And I will tell you this too. I want to point this out. This show does not compete with anybody else. We work with James Wright. We've worked with all of the other podcasters out there. And we feel it's the same way for the magazine. When you go to the trade shows, the guys at Craftsman, the guys at Rail Model Journal, Mainline Modeler, all the old magazines, Model Railroader, we all hang out together. We're all friends. And that's the beauty of the hobby, because it's all very kumbaya, if that makes any sense.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, Ken, I
makes
want
total
to
sense.
correct one thing you said. Is I don't view it as buying something. I view it as investing in something. So an important differentiation between us
I
and
love
perhaps
that.
I do
That is
too.
great.
is we're going to make significant investments in our properties. So we don't buy this for short-term financial purposes. And if you go look at our track record of what we've acquired, we make significant, multi-million dollars investments. We put $40 million of capital to work in the last 3 years, investing in the properties that we own.
Okay.
And we don't look at these things as short-term properties. We look at them as long-term. And the other thing I'd like to clear up, because this has been talked about in the community, is what our plans are for print. There's a belief that print's dying. I actually believe the opposite. I think print is, if you do it right and you treat it as a moment, in many ways a piece of art, these things can live on for many, many years. Magazines and print magazines are coming back. There is a renaissance happening.
Okay.
I agree to
Oh
that.
my gosh.
Wholeheartedly.
I
yes.
don't.
Right?
Okay. First of all, people look forward to getting the magazines. It doesn't matter what magazine it is. We look so forward to. We buy it for the ads, not just the articles. We get them for the ads to see what's new and what's out there. But I want to sit on the couch. I want to get out of this basement. I want to get out of the studio. I don't want to be on a tablet. I don't want to be on the computer looking at my magazine right now. I want to sit on the couch or in bed or in the potty room, and look at the magazine. Something I can hold in my hand that's not a tablet. Does that have any renaissance sense?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's an enormous amount of things happen in the magazine industry. Is that magazines are not dying. In fact, if you look at it across the industry, there's a resurgence of certain brands that are doing exceptionally well. That's because they actually invest in print and make it into something that you want to hold on to. In fact, younger people, sort of the latest generation, call them the Zoomers that were locked down during COVID, they're buying magazines because to them it's cool, it's new, it's technology in itself in its finest. And we're seeing the same people that are buying Taylor Swift vinyl records are the same people driving this younger interest into print. And print, one of the things about print, you mentioned this and I love it, is that with print, unlike digital, you get lost in the content. You don't have your feed constantly interrupting what you're doing. You can get immersed in it. And if you do it right, and there is a successful model for this, that you can A, make a lot of money, but B, create something that's beautiful and that's worth holding on to for many years.
Oh my God, can we keep them?
Yeah, let's keep them. I like them a lot. So
Okay.
yeah.
Oh yes. I mean, I like what I'm hearing. I mean, hello.
Yeah.
When you buy an apartment complex, you make improvements, then you can raise the rents a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
But the fact is, glossy paper, more quality, maybe a little heavier paper, more of a presentation, because it seems like in the years it's gotten really thin. It's down to 74, 72, something odd pages.
If we could get one piece
Glossies.
of paper in the middle that smells like coal.
No.
Yeah.
And the artist.
Let me share with you real quick, because I think this is important.
Okay.
We bought Fly Magazine 3 years ago. It was my first print. I'm a digital native data guy. So I'm of the digital generation, and we also invest a lot in digital. But when we bought Fly Magazine, because I'm a pilot, I've been flying since I was 13 years old. It was sort of a passion
cool.
project. This is what it looked like when we bought it. Was cheap magazine, cheap paper, just really something real thin.
Yes.
And we went to something that looks like more like a piece of art.
Oh yeah, baby.
That is
We
beautiful.
want something that people can put on their coffee table. The most discerning spouse, because I have one, I'm sure you guys have one as well.
Yep.
They want something beautiful. They don't want something that looks like
Yeah,
a brochure
yeah.
or something that looks like junk. And you want something that will stay, that they can be proud that's being displayed. And that's what we want to move Model Railroader, and frankly, all of the railroad titles, to something that has long-term staying power. And it will take us, this isn't an overnight deal, so the community won't see an immediate reaction to this. But in the next year, we have a lot of plans to invest in print and digital, and you'll see significant improvements as we make those investments.
So you're still gonna do the video plus, you're still gonna do the digital stuff that Kalmbach has been doing for years, and just maybe add some pizzazz to that. Of course, the cover is the most important sales. I don't have to tell you that. Covers in model railroading. There are some amazing artists out there. Let's go back to the 80s again, when we were incubated into what we were, right? That's junior high school and high school, that period of time. We had Malcolm Furlow, we had David Frary, go back, we had the works of John Allen. We had so many inspirationals, the Cat Mountain Santa Fe, the Utah Belt, go through the names.
Yeah.
Those types of people are very necessary, but there's so many other model railroaders out there that we have found now through the internet that finding quality material, I think, would be not too difficult, actually. What do you think about that, Dave? Pop.
Oh, you want me? All right.
Yes.
Hi, Dave Popp. Welcome to the show.
There is definitely a lot of rich model railroads out there to choose from these days. And yes, I would love to see us feature them all on covers.
Yes. So we've got this part's covered. This part you have no trouble with. Oh, by the way, I'm a photographer too. I shoot
Okay.
That's how I got into this hobby, was the ability to take a toy and create a serving suggestion of realism. You go through the frozen department, you got a bunch of ice, but the pictures are so pretty on the boxes. And if you convey that, so that was my way to inch my way into this little industry.
How many covers have you done for Model Railroader?
11 or 5, I don't know, 7.
Okay.
I don't know, go through the walls, because I did other people's layouts too for them.
Well, I tried to get here early
Ray
to count
Grocers.
them all, but I couldn't. So, very cool. Very, very cool.
What else would you like to talk about, Craig Fuller? Because this is so exciting. You've also got Trains magazine.
Yeah. Trains is, there's so much opportunity. If you think about the entire history of the United States, or the continental expansion, is all related to trains. And it's the backbones. Trains and railroads are the backbone of our economy. I mean, they're underappreciated. Americans like to say we don't have great trains in the United States, but they miss the fact that the entire freight backbone of our industry is and our economy is based on the trains. And so we have a lot of goals with the train brand to make it beautiful and coffee table beautiful and wonderful photography. I mean, one of my favorites is some of the Western photography through the mountains and through the deserts with trains in the background. So we're going to really expand on the quality of the print magazine and really sort of feature some of the trains that are out there. But we're also going to dive deep into digital and really enhancing the newsroom. FreightWaves is effectively called the Bloomberg of Freight because we cover stories that really drive the goods economy, and railroads are a part of that. And so we have a lot of plans for digital investment around the newsroom, but also won't forget print.
That's
fantastic.
Wonderful.
I know.
And one thing I'd like to address, because there's been a lot of conversation that's come up in recent days about the communities and the forums.
Yes.
There's been a lot of question about whether those will continue, and the answer is yes. We plan on keeping those, frankly, in eternity. Those are an opportunity for the audience and the community to engage, both with us, but also other model railroaders and train and rail enthusiasts. And so we think that's a really important touch point. And so we are actually, in this process is already underway, of actually migrating the communities to a new stable platform that's built in the cloud. And what's great about that is you're going to preserve all the history, which is all the archives that are there, but also give it a lot of scale and stability that newer technology can offer you. And I think one of the realities is that Kalmbach, unfortunately, did not make the kinds of investments in sort of the new generation that needed to be made. We plan on making those investments.
Well, that's great.
I don't know if I should say this on the show, but it's some of these smaller cottage industries, and that's kind of what model railroading is. When it came to the internet at first, a lot of them were many years behind, like 5 years behind on the technology. It's something that we had discovered.
In some cases, 20 years. I mean, the reality is the reason that magazines have died is because what happened is the business models changed, and the companies stayed with 20-year-old thinking and didn't make the investments. And the problem was, by the time that the world caught up to them, there was no money to invest. And that's not the way we do it. We're backed by $1 billion family office, and we are making these as 10, 20, 30-year long generational investments. And we're okay taking short-term losses to accelerate the digitization of the product, but also to bring print into something that's beautiful. So you'll see a lot of those investments being made. A lot of it will be invisible to you, but the experience will get better. But over time, we hope to have something that when you look back in 3 years, you can look back and they did it right. And that's what we plan on doing.
That's fantastic. Yes. Now, you told me in the pre-show notes here in the green room that you actually have had a model railroad in your lifetime. Yes.
I've had a few. I bought when I was younger, I went to Alaska and got to ride on the Denali Express through from Anchorage to Fairbanks. And out of that, I bought an Alaska Railroad model, a set that I had. And then I recently went and bought a Lionel train for my son. And we've been building that. So I wouldn't call it going to Kalmbach's offices and look at what you guys have in the studio. We're not at that level in terms of impressiveness of a layout, but we're going to get there in time. For right now, he's a 5-year-old boy. This is a moment where he gets to learn a new hobby and gets to experience it. And it's just, it's so magical to spend that time with your kids.
Yes, and more yes. It's magic.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, enjoy it. It goes so fast. Enjoy that part. I took so many pictures of Tyler when he was between 5 and 7 doing things down here. It was amazing. And then they got computers.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that's happening, and this is what we're seeing, just in magazines, is that parents are really concerned about apps and app fatigue and what it changes how kids are raised, even their brains and how they are shaped. And so as parents, you're trying to find things that are physical that are not in the apps themselves. And so, model railroading is a chance for me as a father to spend time with my son that is not watching YouTube or watching some app. And that's what I think we're seeing this generationally, where parents are really concerned about what apps do to their kids and want to find wholesome hobbies where the kids can live in their imaginations and have the magic. And model railroading is perfect for that. And that's also the reason that magazines are coming back, because you can get lost in the content and not immersed with the apps.
Absolutely.
I don't have to worry about what my kid's doing when he's hanging out with the railroads. I have to worry about when he's on an app.
When we have a trade show, and Anamari National or one of the bigger trade shows, you seriously need to go to it. The manufacturers are going to enjoy meeting you. You sound to me like you have an idea that the youth is out there, and you know they're out there to bring them in.
I have 5 kids.
Yes.
So I might know a little bit about, I don't know a lot about a lot of things, but I do know a little bit about kids. I have 5 kids, 2 girls, a set of twins. My oldest is 17, my youngest are 3. So I almost have like 3 generations in my house, and I'm sort of an old soul in my own sense. So I feel like I kind of stretch all generations. But what I've seen is, my wife spends a lot of time worried about apps and the impacts. And I can see it in my older kids, is that it creates a lot of, in many ways, depression when they were so apt. When my son, who's now 17 years old, was on an iPad at age 2, and we didn't, or age 3, he was quite young. We didn't know what we now know, is that this stuff does change the way kids think. Mm-hmm. And when you think about hobbies like model railroading, and you think about something physical, is it enables you to engage them in their imagination. Because the problem is the apps engage you with dopamine. They don't engage your imagination. They are completely trained. And look, I am not an app. I'm a digital native, and I run a large digital company. So yes. I don't hate technology. I absolutely love it and embrace it. But I do think when you think about kids and how we raise them, this is a hobby that offers to bring out the imagination. It brings out the decision making, the critical thinking, and that's what makes it so exciting. And look, I want to help evangelize that through our brands. Yes. I think there's a really interesting opportunity to reach younger people and reach parents like myself and my wife through this hobby, because it offers something so incredible.
Agreed. Okay, So 2 things. Youth in the hobby is what we say over and over again. How do we get the youth back into the hobby? Because the demographic is the average guy's in his 60s and 70s, a lot of the model railroaders out there. And the second thing is the imagination that you're talking about. That's how I get into people with my ad photos. Because once you get into that space, that imagination, that space has no limit on time, and it has no budget.
Mm-hmm.
So,
absolutely.
It's a very good space to be in. So you are saying all the right answers. If
Absolutely.
this was a job interview, you are so hired.
Yeah.
Well, I don't come prepared to my interviews.
This is awesome.
You can run our magazine. That'll be fine. Thank you.
Right, this is me speaking from, when we looked at it. Look, what you said is correct. You look at the demographics. It's older males that are into the hobby. Just generally, there's a belief that it's a hobby that's dying out, is the belief. But what I've learned is that's not true at all. There's an enormous community to it. But there is an opportunity, if we can communicate to a younger audience about the magic of what this hobby can do. And I think Lego has done a very good job of trying to experience where parents build with your kids. That's been one of the most powerful campaigns. And we don't remember this, but 20 years ago, Lego was on the verge of bankruptcy.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
What they did was they reimagined the entire brand. And I think we, together with the entire community, you guys included, can really reach across generations to bring younger people into it. Because I can tell you, parents are worried about apps. We're worried about games. We're worried about what this does to our kids and how they will grow up. And this is a hobby where you don't have to worry about what they're up to, and they get to design their own imagination. That's what makes it really cool. They're building in a 4-dimensional world, and they're using their imaginations, and it's not programmed by an algorithm.
That's fantastic.
Wow. What you're talking about with kids and families exactly is that when we do the train shows, and some of the bigger shows tend to bring more of the families coming here, and a lot of people they don't want that expensive locomotive. They just want some of the inexpensive ones that, whether it runs sometimes or it doesn't, if they can hold it in the hand and the little kid is walking around the thing and he has that, that's what is so neat with the better shows, the bigger shows, and that it just brings the kids there, and they can see it and have it there. And yes, to get beyond just having it that thing.
I really enjoy going to the shows and seeing where the vendors will put a whole set together. You know, they got a power pack, they got enough track to go around. Here, $10, go home, run it around, and let your imagination go wild.
And the parents like that, because then if it gets broken, then they can either
It was
move to
just
something
10
better,
right,
and they can
correct.
help grow with it and play together or operate the train.
Right.
That's the best way to put it
Yeah,
there. So
I agree.
it's a nice idea to have.
All right, this question's for Dave and for Craig. What's going to happen to the layout, that beautiful layout in the building?
Elephant in the
'Cause I believe you guys are moving, right? You're moving at probably at the end of the next couple months, right? End of July or something.
MR&T.
Are you keeping the layout? Or
Craig, you want to answer that?
are we building?
I was going to let Dave take that one because that's I'll take it. Like, we would love to preserve it, and I think we've talked about a number of options. You know, whether it gets preserved in Milwaukee or whether we move it to Tennessee, I think are really sort of up in the air. We're still figuring out. We will have a physical location in Milwaukee. So we're actually, David has been spending the last couple weeks trying to identify office space that will have a studio. I think the question is, what do we do with the layout? And so it still remains to be seen. You know, how do you take something like that apart and reassemble it is probably a question that has to be, a lot of energy will be spent there. Hopefully, if we do it right, I think, the only challenge that we've got is we're up to a pretty tight timeline. Kalmbach had sold that building. We did this transaction in 6 weeks. So the time that we got the book to the time we closed the deal was 6 weeks. So we entered the picture in really, mid-March, I think it was. And that was our first conversation with Kalmbach. And then we closed it on May 1st. And so the building had been sold 4 months before we entered the picture. And so they're supposed to be out of the building by the end of June, I think, is our lease. I think technically end of July is when the new party moves in, or 1st of August. So we've got to be out the end of June. I think that's going to change. That may accelerate what we do or change it. But we want to have pieces of it. But one thing about what is going on in Milwaukee in the Kalmbach headquarters is there are dozens of models up there. So we want to preserve as much of that as possible. I've threatened my wife that I'm going to take the very large layout and put it in our house. That's not going very well.
I'll help you move it if you want to do that.
What's that, David?
I'll help you move it if you want to do that.
As long as you help me find a divorce attorney and pay for my divorce, maybe. I don't know.
That's much I can do.
I don't know that she's ready for that thing to come
That's
onto
all.
the house. It is massive. It is cool. It's impressive. I would hate to see it not live on. Our goal is to try to do something with it, try to move it. But again, we have a tight timeline on whether we can accomplish that.
Okay.
Craig, and I'm going to jump in here real quick. I'll say, and Ken, you've seen the layout. You've been to the offices.
Yeah. Yes.
That room, the layout is, and was purpose built for that railroad. The railroad was purpose built into it. It's bolted to the floor. It's bolted to the walls. It's actually hardwired into the building. It has an electrical, a 110 electrical bus that runs all the way through it. So it will have to be disconnected. It was never made to move. However, if I know that we've got a chance to preserve at least parts of it, I will do everything I can to make sure that we can figure out how to carefully disassemble it and get it out of there, because I would love to preserve it. There's so much history in that thing, and so many people who worked on it are long gone, and I would love for us to be able to preserve that.
Absolutely.
I think that would be awesome. So
We will definitely preserve pieces of it, Dave.
Well,
the question is, can we get it all back? I don't know. So.
Well, foam is cheap, and it doesn't take anything to build new modules, because what you really need in studio is modules to do run-bys on, to feature products, and to do some photography with. So you don't really need a full-blown layout for that, but run-bys are good. So, and I always thought that layout was built modular. I am so shocked, quite honestly.
Nope, it is Lynn Westcott's L girder bench work to the hilt.
Okay.
So.
Well, that always worked too.
Sense.
Bulletproof.
That always worked.
Yeah.
All right,
Can I
guys.
jump in real quick? I want to say something, and it's just that, and I can speak for all of the model railroader staff and the tracks group in particular. We're incredibly excited about this. You all have watched the magazine shrink, the quality shrink. We've tried everything we can to keep it going. We just celebrated 90 years of Model Railroader magazine.
Wow.
And it's been my goal ever since I came to the company 23 years ago that I wanted to see it to 100. I'll be 70 when that happens, but I want to see it to 100. And Craig and his team, Craig is the first person to own this title since Al Kalmbach that had passion for it. Passion for the product, has passion for what it does and why it works and everything else. And I'll follow anybody like that. Very excited about all of this. Yes, it's been a real head spin. The last 2 weeks have been quite crazy, but it's a good crazy.
No,
And
this is fantastic.
I'm thrilled
Good
that
news.
this is where Model Railroader has landed and Trains has landed and all of our other titles that Firecrown has taken on as well. So
I agree.
I see really good things in the future for this.
I mean, you said passion, and we always start out our model railroad interviews with a person. Tell us about your passion for this hobby. But he has been percolating passion now for 27 minutes. I mean, seriously, and everything he's saying is good.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like the type of moves that need to be made.
Yes.
So this is nothing but good. The employees, everything's good. This is what we wanted to find out. And it sounds like it's going to be a good edit tonight.
Right.
This is going to be a good night.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I mean, we're passionate about it. I mean, one of the great things about buying these magazines and investing in these hobbies, I mean, we own aviation, we own boating, we're transportation people at our heart. Is I get to go out and enjoy these hobbies, get to go spend time in them. And what is cooler than trains? I mean, I have a set of 3-year-old twins. And we go on our boat on the water, and we take it. You can see the railroad tracks and the interstate highway. We sit out there. We watch the airplanes near the airport. And the girls love it too. Like
Nice.
young kids. Think about your young kids or grandkids. Think about those early days. They always are enamored with trains. And that is what we want to hold on to and continue to build, and I get to experience it firsthand. So
That's fantastic.
it is cool, and you're going to see a lot of improvements in digital. Like we've talked a lot about print. You're going to see beautiful layouts and photography inside layouts being a print version, not the.
Coffee
You'll see
table.
layouts in layouts. How about that?
You'll see
Yes.
beautiful layouts
Right.
Well,
in beautiful layouts.
Well, hold on.
Page
You've got these
so-
side publications that do that. You've got the Great Model Railroads. You've got the Tony Kest. Oh my God, you've got, David, a lot of things in a portfolio that were those high quality, once a year, and it sounds like Model Railroader is going to be one of those every month. Do you know how much work that's going to be? That's a lot of work.
Don't
No?
tell him that.
Don't tell
Let
him
him
that.
find out for
No,
himself.
I mean,
we already know.
Okay.
We're not scared.
Okay.
Good, good.
a lot of work, but I would tell you, and this is what I've heard from the staff, and it's true of almost every magazine that we've acquired. We have something like 50-something brands across the portfolio, done 20-something acquisitions. Is almost to a person what we hear, and we heard this from Kalmbach, is a level of frustration in the staff that the company doesn't care or there isn't investment in the business, and almost like they're running in place in some ways. And what we're going to do is bring out, these are artists, these are passionate artists that have a story to tell and they want to tell it through beauty. And we have the opportunity to bring that out and help empower it. So it's not work, it becomes passion. I mean, people don't join Kalmbach's business or Model Railroader because it's the best, most lucrative career in the world. They join it because they're passionate about the hobby. And when the company is able to make investments and to reward them for that passion, for them, this is in many ways a dream. And that's what we want to do, is we want to empower that, and we want to give them something beautiful. That means better paper. And look, the cost of the magazine to us will probably double. Like when we bought Flying, it cost about $1.15 an issue when we purchased it. It's about a $2.25 magazine out the door in full distribution. We doubled the cost of it. But what we also did was we started to bring in the audience and get them engaged, and we build in public. We tell them what we're up to, tell them why we're doing it. And what we saw is that subscriptions exploded. And so that's what we want to do here, is we want people to have the confidence that we are investing and making the kind of investments they expect, as well as give them bring out the passion of our team. And one thing I'll say about this is, just because this always gets asked of me, there's a lot of skeptics that say when we start making improvements to the magazine or the business, how are you possibly able to do this? You must be losing lots of money. Look, we're a business that will do $60 million. We 3 years ago, we were zero. We were $60 million in revenue. We're growing in excess of about 200-300% a year. And we are profitable. We have best-in-class profit margins for magazines. Wow. Because, again, we make long-term commitments and investments, and we make the right investments.
Wow.
Okay, so what we do with this show is we promote this, the best hobby in the world. Let's us work together to promote this hobby, because I really like the way everything I'm seeing tonight, I like. Mm-hmm. I would love to help you. We would love to help you.
Yes.
One thing I will caution, though, you'll hear me today and you'll come back, and this stuff takes a while. I mean, magazines, to reimagine them, we want to do it right. So it's about a year-long journey to make the kinds of investments in digital that we want to make, the kinds of investments in print. So it is not something that in 3 months that the audience will see an enormous change or a different experience. But over the next year, and certainly into the next year, you'll start to see a lot of those improvements take place. And that's when you should start to feel like, okay, now this is the product that we're going to see longer term, and this is the kind of investment we're going to see longer term.
Wow.
I know, right?
Hey guys, Model Railroader is in great hands. I am so excited to hear that.
Yes.
And you can get Model Railroader magazine at Spring Creek Model Trains out in Deshler, Nebraska. I've got to tell you about the product code, because I promised them I would tonight. They made a WNTW 2024 is the promo code, where you get free shipping on all orders over $250. So check it out. There's a lot of everything you need to build a layout is on their website. When we went to Deshler, Nebraska for the first time, they were just starting that website. And oh my goodness, has it changed everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, all that stuff we saw in the basement, all that stuff, it's all there now.
Right.
So check it out, springcreeksmodeltrains.com.
The sale ends the end of August, so you got to the end of August.
That's true, 8/31/24, August. Wow, it seems like so far away. Joshua, you've got something you wanted to talk about tonight.
I do. I want to talk a little bit about myself.
Okay,
well, that's good.
We love it when you do that, because we all like you.
I've been on sabbatical for the last couple weeks.
Okay.
I've been going to some different places, just bringing my inner chi together. And I want to announce that I am a runner on America's Next Favorite Chef with Carla Hall. The voting for me starts tomorrow on the 21st of May. Everyone can vote once a day for me. I'm in line with, I believe, 100 other people, and whoever gets the most votes gets into the actual running. I'll have to do cooks with Carla Hall and a couple other people, but it's all about who in America likes me and and how good of a chef I am. So I just want to let everybody know that I will blast everything out on Facebook and wherever I can for you guys to vote for me. If I win, I'll be on the cover of Taste of Home magazine. I'll be on the Food Network, I believe, a lot more, and things are going to go good. So
you already made the first cut, right?
I have made the first cut.
15,000.
I signed up, and so now I'm down to a lot less.
Out of 15,000, you're down to the final 100.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
vote for me. You can go online to favoritechef.com, and you'll get all the information. You can look at all the other competitors. But I'm very thankful that I got this far, and I hope everyone will vote for me.
I'll start voting now.
Yeah. No, not till tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys, going around the table, I think we've covered everything in here. Let's go back out into Skype. Gentlemen, is there anything else that you would like to say in summary tonight?
Look, I model railroading, I'm, in terms of my credentials, nowhere near what the community is. I hope that I can be a part of this journey. I'm going to learn and really get into the hobby. I'm excited to do it with my 5-year-old. I will say, though, I do have a little bit of rail credentials, such that CNBC interviewed me for a documentary on the America's railroads related to freight. So at least I'm sort of qualified to be a rail expert, at least as it relates to freight movement.
Right.
So I got to do that, and I'm just really excited. This is not just a hobby, but trains are, as a freight guy, this is right up my alley. So I'm really excited about it.
You're young, and I can tell you that a lot of the folks that we run into own small railroads around the country. And they do very well. They might have 15, 18, 25 acres. What was the Port Harbor Railroad's got like 8 miles or something.
Yeah.
But these railroads, they lease out the ground, they service their clients, and there's a lot of, we knew a gentleman that owned Caboose out in Colorado, that hobby store out there, that owned the Marquette Railroad.
Yep.
Absolutely an amazing gentleman. So this may be in your future too. Now you're buying magazines too, toy trains, you might end up owning a railroad.
You never
I
know.
love that idea. I don't know that I'll buy one of the class ones, but that would be, I want to come back as a sort of a second generation of those as my next life. But
Right.
it's it is a cool hobby, and it is a cool business. Really excited about this. You could also, if you want to connect with me, you can reach me on X or Twitter at Freight Alley. I'm very, very public. I'm open. If we're, I will provide regular updates about what we're up to through that communications vehicle. So it's at Freight Alley. See, there's a freight name in there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, you're
So
fitting in
you can
already.
reach me there and follow me, and if you want to talk about the hobby, what you're up to, what you're building, or just ideas you have about the magazine. I mean, I have people all the time that send me suggestions. I had one today from a co-founder of a top technology company that reached out, and he just wanted to know when the next issue, because he said, hey, you need to get a schedule when the next issue of the magazine's up. So we love those types of suggestions. Please bring them.
Fantastic.
Nice. Very nice.
All right, guys, I don't know how to make it a better show than that. I want to say to Craig and Dave, thank you very much for taking the time to share this amazing, exciting, wonderful news with us. I'm walking away from this feeling good.
Yeah,
Me too, man.
Cloud,
I feel
Cloud 9.
And I have a feeling a lot of manufacturers are going to pay attention to this. Hi, guys, we love you all. But what we have just seen is very positive.
very encouraging.
Yes.
Well, let's see what we can do, and let's deliver, as we say.
All right, I love
Right.
that.
So,
I know, right?
We're from
we do that,
Missouri.
then-
It's the
then we
show
can
me
talk
state,
shit.
so
This is, we're going to take our NCE Power Cab. NCE, the power of DCC, because this is what we're going to use tonight to run the trains on the layout after we are finished with this show, because that is what we do. We love this, the best hobby in the world. Be sure to hit the bell.
yep, subscribe. Like us, go to Facebook, give us thumbs up or happy little smiles.
Happy trails. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yep.
All right, guys, with that, let's go run some trains.
Bye, everybody.
you guys, take care.
Okay, we got to do a thumbnail.
All right.
Leave camera running for 45 seconds. All we have to do is do something cute. You guys can wave because you're kind of confined to this little area.
Just smile. Lots
I would
of
love to
teeth.
come. I would love to come up with a good thumbnail for this show.
Here,
All right, I'm gonna
I'll
hold up
that
the
one.
1930s model railroaders. All right, ready? Show some teeth. Everybody go. And we have a thumbnail.
Perfect.